welcome to Reelin Films. I do hope that you enjoy this video. Don't forget, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell. Like that you guys can get notified for anything and everything movie and series related here at Reelin Films. I hope you enjoy this video. Good
Thanks, Annie.
afternoon. How are you doing today, Daniel?
Hi, John. Good afternoon. Doing good. You?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
So, Daniel, I want to give you a great welcome to Reel In Films. We're going to be talking about Boy de Conchas, or in English is the shell covered ox. I hope that I said it correctly in the language.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Awesome, awesome. So, Daniel, I wanted to ask because very intriguing short film. It caught my attention fully from the start to the finish. But I wanted to ask because we're seeing in this short film, we're seeing the process of like grief and how our main character is accepting the fact that she has a missing sister. Wanted to ask you, what is the meaning of the ox? Because I did
Yes.
see that in the description of the short film, there's like a mythos behind the ox.
Yeah, like there's this folklore in the nearby in the region, right, where we shot the short. That's the story about this ox that runs away from its owner because it's escaping the slaughterhouse. So he runs off to the sea and disappears in the ocean, like in the infinite ocean. And they say that at night, under the full moon, you can see the ox walking in the beach, surrounded by white seashells. So it's kind of like a metaphor for like the animal escaping its predestined path, and creating its own path, its own seeking its dream and just like doing its own thing. And that's a little bit kind of like I guess in the film how like the teenagers are feeling, in like relationship in relation with the world, with their surroundings, with their community. They're just like, okay, so I've had enough of this. I'm just like just going away, leaving everything and taking my own path. So I'm just like I've had enough, of how the world, of how everything is at the moment. So I guess that's kind of like the metaphor that we chose. Like but the animal itself, the ox itself, it does have also like some strong meanings and representations as well, since like you can see like in old paintings, mythological paintings, and in this case also like this animal that it's kind of like is super strong. It has like its strength and its power. You can't move an ox if you want to. It makes its own path when it wants to. So yeah.
Okay. And so in all this, you wanted to add like a type of like metaphor behind the story that is going with the ox, but with the main character. And then and you get to see it because there's this reaching to the end. She has like an argument with her mother, and then she goes to the festival. But wanted to go into a little bit what inspired you to bring this short film to the people.
Yeah, well, I really wanted to tell a story about this region, Bertioga, right? This is small city, small town where we shot it. This place, it's a beautiful place that's like dated back from like 1500 in the coast of São Paulo. So it's like there's all this history, all this background to it. My wife was born there, so I've been like going to this place like over our 20 years together. So it's like I feel like it's a second home for me as well. And when I came up with when I found out this local folklore in the region, I thought it was like it's a great way to like tell the story, show the side of Brazil as well that people don't usually get to see, because well, a bunch of people also told me about, okay, yeah, so usually Brazil for me is like the sandy beaches and carnival and stuff like that, but there's like so much more layers to it. And I guess with the short, like we're talking about like it's our deep and strong themes, and but still we get to like show also a lot of cultural heritage from the area from Brazil. We get to like showcase some super talented young people as well. Many of the actresses and actors are from the area, which aren't even actors. They're just like that people that do amateur theater, you know, they just like the arts, you know. So it's kind of like it does have in a sense kind of a love letter to Bertioga, to all this community.
Okay, you really did get me there because I actually thought that everybody that's was working on the film, all those actors and actresses are actually actors or actresses, like
No.
um but wow, knowing that they only do like small theater and bringing this to a float, that's amazing. You
Oh
know,
yeah, they did incredible. Like the mother, she's a professional actress from São
okay.
Paulo. They have worked with, so kind of like putting together some of the, all these elements, the mother and the father as well. But all the rest, everyone is like some musicians and locals that just like or like act as a hobby. They have their work. One of them actually works with. She's still, well, most of them are young, so most of them are still in college or school, but someone work like when the like botanical area there in the city. So it's like people doing like arts, because of the love for it. And they first time in camera and they felt so natural. So it does have kind of like that Italian neorealism vibe to it, so
Yeah, I always say that sometimes, even though and everybody that's working in the film industry wants to have a professional in front of the camera, but sometimes when some stories need that raw feel, like this story needed that raw feeling, because you're not only touching bases with a folklore, you're touching bases as well on how grief is done, how sometimes you take grief. Were there any challenges while filming, because I did see that you have many locations in this short film?
yeah, it was kind of a logistical nightmare, especially also because we were shooting in this small town and they don't actually have like this infrastructure, especially like film wise. But the town hall, the city hall, everything, they really helped a lot. So we were able to like organize ourselves a bit better. And we did actually also have to take an ox, right, to bring some oxen to the beach, which is no easy task as well. There's actually this beach nearby where we shot that is famous for having sometimes like lost oxen just roaming around the beach, which also was kind of an inspiration. And the locals were saying, "Okay, just grab the cool camera and just go over there and you can film them." And I was like, "Oh, are they there every day?" No, well, but you just wait, you know how film works. I can't just like grab the whole crew and everyone just stand in the beach and wait for, okay, so
Yeah.
let's see if an ox shows up today. So we had to like find an animal wrangler that worked with these types of animals, which isn't that common, to have in film. But that worked out super well as well. We were lucky in many aspects with all these challenges, and the weather as well, because Bertioga is known for being the city that it rains a lot. And in Portuguese, it has like a nickname. It would be like a Berti chuva, which is kind of Berti rain, because it's basically like raining 70% of the year.
Okay.
But we managed to organize ourselves, and so sometimes we would just adapt and change our schedule so we could actually film with good lighting. But yeah, I guess like it were more logistical issues and challenges, but we managed to get that done.
Okay. Is the fact, because I know that full length films are difficult, but I would say that sometimes short films are a little bit much more difficult because you have smaller time frame, and it depends on what your story wants, what you want to see show in your story. Were there any challenges for you to, in that editing process? Because I imagine that you had, like, I don't know, I'm gonna put a number there. I imagine that you had like more than 100 hours of film, and then cutting it to 15 minutes. I imagine that was a challenge.
Yeah, originally this project, and it still is, we want to do a feature film. So there is like this much more like elaborate world behind it, story-wise and character-wise and everything. We decided to do a short film like financial reasons, and let's get it like a short, well done. Let's do it right, and it can work as a proof of concept for later on to get the feature done. And we actually, most of this editing, we did a lot of that on the pre-production. So like the screenplay was much larger, much more complex. We did a lot of rehearsals. We talked a lot, me with the cast. We kind of like really took a dive into the themes and kind of like cleaned them out a bit. So before we started shooting, we really eliminated a lot of like side stories and a lot of stuff. So that really helped. And when we shot it kind of like more directly like what we needed, So it did keep it like concise in that sense. For example, we found out that the story really revolved about the grief, the missing sister, because all the actions they all happen like around this her disappearance, right? So, and then with that on our minds, we decided to like eliminate other side stories, other scenes that didn't exactly talk directly to this main thing that we found out while we were working in pre-production and rehearsal. So I guess we saved some of we helped a lot the editor because we brought him much less work, because if we shot all the pages that we had written, it'd be like you mentioned, like a whole bunch of material.
Okay. So now going into that, because you did mention full length. So this project was it is entitled to be a full length film.
Yes, we do have like the specs for it. We do have like this project like on the like versions of screenplays and story wise we're working, and but yeah, we always want to do this feature, but we decided to do the short first. So,
Okay.
but we would really want to explore more of this world because I think it's really rich, and there's a lot of things we can like dive more into, and really, well, really talk about more of this world.
No, I completely agree, because it's like you mentioned at the beginning that not the that most of the films that we've seen or series that go to Brazil, it's basically like those nice places or carnival, and there's not that many films or series that talk about like the folklore or that raw part of what Brazil is.
Yeah.
And question, being you as a short filmmaker, do you have any advice for any up and coming short film or full length filmmaker that wants to, if they have like any type of fear to send their short or their full length to these big events?
Yeah, I guess like many people they do the short film. It's super hard to do it. It is expensive. It is just like this adventure you embark into, but it doesn't finish also when you finish the film. Unfortunately, it goes on. So afterwards, you really have to plan. You have to send it to a bunch of places. You have to research the festival. You have to read. Okay, so this festival has what was screened there before. Let's see if it's a good fit. Also, if it's something, because sometimes festivals they turn down like great films, not because the film isn't good, because they have other things they want to talk about, and you actually never know. So like I submitted the film to a bunch of places. I got no's and I got yes with Sundance, which is great, incredible, because it's a great place to to premiere to start the year in. And so I guess it's kind of like just you have to really continue the work, and not just say, okay, so I finished, so I'm gonna send one place and people are gonna see it. No, you have to like really do a lot of work afterwards and like research and plan and make sure that you keep the ball rolling, because it only finishes when I guess when no one everyone saw the film already. So you have to screen it in places, which is the best part. So yeah.
How how was your feeling? How did you feel? And I imagine that yourself and the team that worked with you, how did you all feel when you got the yes to be part of Sundance?
Yeah, it was really crazy because I just moved to the US mid last year. So I was living here. So like the routine was really crazy because I was like doing all this like me, my wife, my daughter, like reestablishing our lives here. And me and my wife was like finishing the film in like late hours, like posts with Brazil, it was just 5 hours difference. And when we got the CS, it was actually my wife was putting my daughter to sleep. It was like in the middle of the night, and I just like barged into the room, and I was like, "Oh my God, we got into Sundance. The film's gonna be in Sundance." And my daughter was just like almost sleeping. She woke up and she was like so happy, like cheering, but she had no idea what was happening because she's like 2 years old. So my daughter was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, daddy, yeah," like hugging us. But she was just happy because we were happy. And afterwards, like I think it took another like 2 hours for my daughter to go back to sleep, but it was like this like family celebration. It would have been nice if I were in Brazil like with the crew as well because but at least I had family here, so we kind of had like this moment that was really nice. And then it was already like with the 5 hours difference, I started calling all the crew, everyone from Brazil, because it was the early morning there already, and we were zooming and talking. It was incredible. Everyone was super happy and just so excited.
Do you have any plans, or due to the fact that you have are part of the Sundance short film festival, do you have plans to start moving into the full length film project?
Yes, I think this is like the perfect moment to actually start talking to more producers or start also applying to workshops and just really get the story, the project like beefed up. I'm writing the screenplay with this other writer, uh, Natalia, which is this writer from Brazil, which is super talented as well. And we're like, okay, so now we both got super excited with the festival, the short. So it's kind of like, okay, so there's a like renewed energy to really make the feature happen now. So yeah, hopefully it takes a while, but hopefully in a couple of years we can see the film like in the screen as well, a longer version.
Okay. Now my next initial question is, do you have any fond memories while you were filming these shell covered ox?
Yeah, like there are many fond memories. One of them that I was like really like super proud of the cast and crew. There's the scene where there are all these girls, the friends, they are talking on the beach, right? And they're all like I mentioned, like locals from the area and everything. And we did talk a lot. I did come over one day with the camera. We kind of like a small rehearsal, but everyone was kind of nervous because like first time in shooting and everything. But then we were there with the whole crew, a bunch of people. The structure, everything seemed much more overwhelming, but everyone felt so at ease. No, it didn't feel like this big film set. It felt like we were doing like just filming between friends, and everyone was so comfortable, and they were just like so having fun, just dove into the scene, just dived into it. And it was actually the first scene we shot from the short, so that kind of was like this moment that I thought, oh, so I think this will really work. I was really happy with the result and the overall mood, with everyone in set. And so we start off with the right foot, I guess.
That's amazing. So my final question for you today is, if you could describe your short film in one word, how would you describe it?
One word.
One word. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Uh, hmm. Just give me. Can I have like a couple of seconds to think of
Sure,
it?
sure. No
Yeah,
worries.
because
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I, I I guess it would be kind of like just like I'm trying to think to find the translation in English because I have this word in my head in Portuguese, but yeah, I think maybe it would be kind of like it's uh phantasmagorical. Is that like the
Uh,
in English? No, yeah, because but it'd be kind of like well, I guess like fantasy. I think
okay.
it's what fantasies it would be like easier.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah. Um, that's an amazing word. I didn't thought about it, but yes, I like the word. Yeah. So, Daniel, thank you very much for giving us the time to talk about the shell covered ox. I'm super stoked to see when this full length film comes out, because it is a world that it should be shown in the big screen. And
Hey, thanks.
I hope that everybody that gets to sit down and see your short film enjoys it as I did. And thank you very much for your time to talk about the film.
Thank you so much, John, for talking, having your time to talk to me. Yeah,
Thank you. Bye bye.
great. Bye bye.